Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Monstrosities, a vlog of Tokusatsu. I'm your host, Matt Burkett, here to recount all things Japan. If you listened to the last episode where we audio reviewed the newest Godzilla anime movie, Godzilla Monster Planet, or Planet of the Monsters, whatever the hell it was called. Spoiler alert, Japan, the trip, was amazing. Wonderful. Absolutely incredible. I hope you guys understand that those words are not used lightly, especially in this day and age, where every movie that comes out is the best thing ever. You know, it's wonderful, it's amazing, it's great. Like, those words are thrown about so much. I try to really not express that, to gush that much, because not everything is the best thing ever. But when the best thing ever does come about, it just makes it that much more special. And this trip it deserved all of those words and more. I had an amazing time. So did my mom. I wanted to say thank you for those of you who actually asked about her in the comments of the previous video. She had a fantastic time. It was everything that we wanted and more. So so November 1st, the flight from Phoenix to LAX and LAX to Tokyo was one of the smoothest experiences, both going and coming back, that I've ever had with flying planes. I've had worse trips and more complicated trips flying from here to Buffalo, New York, or from here to Washington, D.C., or from here to freaking Albuquerque. I mean, it was efficient, and it really set the tone for what was to come. We get to Japan. It's about like 4:30 on Thursday, so we actually lost a day. We got there on November 2nd. We got to Haneda Airport. Haneda is actually the airport that somebody reminded me, that's where Gaira attacks in War of the Gargantuas. So that was kind of like, hey, that's kind of neat. Seeing all these places, like recognizing them and like, wait a minute, isn't this the place from ... It's cool. We get a taxi. It's about a 2-hour ride from Haneda to Shinjuku, because we're staying at the Hotel Gracery with the giant Godzilla head. And the reason why it was taking so long was because it's rush hour in Tokyo, but this was a perfect time to just see everything. You know what I mean? To just look out the window and just look. Look at the people, look at the cars, look at the architecture, look at the shop, all this random stuff, and just having this realization, like, my God, I'm here. Like, what is going on here? We get to the Hotel Gracery, and, honestly, we probably could have stayed there for a week, and I would have been fine. It is the Godzilla Hotel. It's cool for, like, a couple of days. We stayed there the entire time because originally we were thinking about booking someplace else. It would have saved us some money. I just felt it would be easier and less of a hassle to just stay there the whole time. And we did. And it's fine. Like, the hotel is a very nice hotel. It is kind of expensive, but this was a legit vacation and not just, trying to do everything on the cheap. As soon as we get there, we stepped outside to look at the Godzilla head, and it was like right on the hour. So the damn thing started roaring. The lights are going off. The smoke's coming out of its mouth. And it's just a great time. It's really cool to see. We got some dinner, and then we called it a day. The food was delicious, and that also set the tone as well. We did not have a single bad meal in Japan. Ever since coming back, I've had a real hard time eating anything from like restaurants here. It just tastes disgusting. So, so the next day, November 3rd, Friday, Godzilla's birthday. So this is the view from the hotel. I can actually get it. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, right down there, I can actually get it without hitting the glass. This is where the Godzilla Fest will be taking place. That right there is a Godzilla that actually lights up. It's white with blue dorsals. So it lit up last night from here, not in person. And the cool thing about that was that there was going to be this big event just right outside the hotel, in this little like courtyard area. They were going to have these things that they were calling statues on display, and there's going to be like a food truck and a little shop set up, and it was for free and all this stuff. And that was a great welcome to Japan day kind of thing, especially, for the nerd here. Godzilla was the gateway drug to this country. I'm not ashamed to say that. It was cool for this instance. Yes, the country has a lot more to offer than just Godzilla, but for a first day, stepping into this new world, basically, it was fantastic. So the event, super crowded. Like, something that I've noticed that I'm pretty sure is the case, because Norman, England, actually, that's a new buddy that I made when I was over there. Norman has been on so many Godzilla sets, along with, and he still works in the Japanese film industry. He was telling me that since Shin Godzilla, Godzilla Mania is kind of like overswept Japan. It's become kind of that like, hey, do you want the Godzilla credit card? Or hey, do you want the Godzilla this or the Godzilla that? Instead of just kind of being this cult thing where it's like you get a couple of Bandai figures and call it good. It's much more mainstream because of Shin. And they're still trying to like milk Shin's popularity every time they can. It's amazing. This event downstairs was really cool. It was crowded as all hell. People left and right. I mean, that's the other thing about Japan, obviously, right? Is just the crowds. The people, the biggest metropolis in the world. So it's obviously going to be expected. They had all of these, I would say probably about maybe 8, I could be wrong, 7 or 8 different Godzillas on display. 90% of those were actually the movie-used suits, which kind of blew my mind. Because, again, having never seen a single Godzilla suit in my life, and then suddenly coming across like 5 of them in one place is just like, holy crap, that's awesome. They also had the statues of Shin, as well as this Godzilla 2017, which I know it has some kind of weird-ass name. I don't really care about what it is right now. It was just so surreal, and then surrounded by all these suits are actually these model buildings, right? Which, again, I didn't realize until later. Those are leftover buildings from the Millennium movies. To see those props and stuff in reality, that was great. That was so cool. We didn't get anything there. I didn't buy anything at the store that they had up there. Didn't buy anything at the... the food truck or anything. So we go back upstairs, and as we're heading back to the elevator to our room, we notice out on the balcony where the Godzilla head is at, there's like this big group of people out there. We're just like, whoa, like, okay, what's going on here? We're kind of looking out, and lo and behold, there is a guy, a full-on, legit as hell looking promotional Godzilla suit, Heisei suit. There's a guy in a rubber suit out there taking pictures with a bunch of kids and people. So we got So we got out there, got some pictures with that. It's just like, oh my God, out on the balcony, I think it was the hotel that actually provided it. They have this little contraption thing that they basically turn your picture into a button. I did Ghidorah, my mom did Godzilla. So I was like, oh dude, that was super cool. So we go back up to the room, we came back down. When you get off the elevator and head into the lobby of the Gracery, there's a wall that has all of the posters of the Godzilla movies, right? And it has art of all the monsters too. And as I'm getting closer to the edge of the wall, I'm hearing this commotion on the other side. There's nobody else in front of him. I'm the only dude in front of him. I just happened to just catch this moment. I'm like, oh, okay. Stupid little things like that just made this, little memories so special. So after that, we actually checked out the Godzilla Store, which was a hell of a time to find. Well, first of all, we weren't even able to actually shop within it because you needed to get a ticket. There was only like 500 that were given out that day because they just didn't want a rush of people, right? It's in a department store, but it's just this little corner. That's all it is. It's just this little corner. That store is probably perfectly representative, or a perfect representation of what I had just been talking about with how Godzilla kind of went from like a nerd thing to the mainstream thing. Because this store, like they'll sell the Bandai stuff, the current Bandai stuff, but then they'll also sell their designer t-shirts, sleeping masks, and pens, and just these random odds and ends, you know what I mean? Things that I guess normal people would like and not necessarily like diehard collectors. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like this, oh my God, you just gotta go to the Godzilla store. You know what I mean? That night, they were having a lighting ceremony. They had this like big light up Godzilla, and I thought I got footage of it, but apparently I didn't.
4, 3, 2, 1.
But Shinji Higuchi showed up. I thought that was going to be kind of cool. Just be like, hey, yeah, Shinji Higuchi, I met you. And tons of people there. I mean, that was kind of cool. But as we're like moseying on through like the crowd, my mom said something like, "Hey, who's that?"
Thank you.
And lo and behold, there's Robert Scott Field taking pictures with fans and stuff. But again, just a random encounter. You know, Robert Scott Field, for those of you who don't know, played Android M11 in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, so that was really kind of fun. The light-up ceremony happened. You know, there's tons of other little things that we did in between there. I'm just trying to like recall absolutely everything, and it's hard to, you know. God, where do you start? You know, this is just day one. So, I think I'm gonna leave it there for now. I will go ahead and record more stuff, but I will go ahead and let this kind of be, you know, kind of the first episode, because I think this is going to be pretty long, and you guys get to experience, you know, Godzilla Fest 2017. Yes, it was called Godzilla Fest, not Fest. The T was absent for God knows why. And then I'll continue this a little later on. So yeah, guys, for Godzilla's sake, keep watching more tokusatsu for the good of mankind and yourselves, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you very much for listening, and I will catch you later.